If you had to summarize the 2024 Angels in 2 words, phrases like dumpster fire, abject disaster, franchise worst, or perennial disappointment come to mind. But amidst posting their worst record in team history, a couple young players started to emerge as potential future stars, including Zach Neto, Logan O'Hoppe, Ben Joyce, and for stretches, Nolan Schanuel and Joe Adell. They even had a couple other quality contributors like Luis Rengifo, the always steady Taylor Ward, and a host of rental veterans that posted average to decent numbers. It overall wasn't a pretty picture, but it at least gave some hope for the future if the squad was indeed willing to ship off a few of its aging pieces, finally starting a rebuild that probably should have been initiated way back when they had the best player in the sport about to depart in 2023. But since we've entered the offseason of 2024-2025, this has not been what's happened. The team has almost become a pseudo-buyer per se, and has absolutely refused to move its more valuable pieces, yielding a result that will almost certainly lead to mediocrity in the upcoming season. Let's first recap their major moves so far, and then discuss what they mean. Their first move of the offseason was to acquire veteran outfielder Jorge Soler from the Braves for Griffin Canning. This immediately raised a bunch of eyebrows in the collective baseball community, as Soler is currently owed $32 million over the next 2 years as a player about to turn 33, and who's coming off a season where he posted just 1.1 WAR with 21 home runs and a sub-800 OPS. The guy has long been pretty much exclusively a masher of baseballs, with no discernible fielding or running ability, yet he hasn't even managed to post an OPS plus north of 125 since 2019, or a WAR above 2 since that season as well. As such, paying over $30 million for his aging services on a team that seemed poised to start at the minimum retooling this offseason just seemed nonsensical. But the Angels were far from done. After a couple low-level deals where they acquired some minor leaguers, they started their free agent acquisition spree, as in the month of November they would sign Kyle Hendricks to a 1-year $2.5 million deal, Travis d'Arnaud to a 2-year $12 million contract, and Yusei Kikuchi to a 3-year $64 million deal. Now, I'm not saying that these moves didn't address quote-unquote issues that they had, as they certainly could use a veteran starter, solid backup catcher, and frontline lefty, but the fact that they, over the course of the offseason's first 2 months, committed over $100 million to players that are each at least 32 years old while coming off a year that they weren't close to making the playoffs is just completely incomprehensible to me. As this roster currently stands, there are major holes, ones that are hard to fill in the current free agent market and that can't really be addressed via trade very easily without giving up a lot of the talent they would need to keep challenging for anything resembling even a 500 record. What's their current rotation? Some combination of Kikuchi, Tyler Anderson, Jose Soriano, Kyle Hendricks, Reed Detmers, and Caden Dana. There's certainly some solid talent there, but not nearly enough depth to be able to compete with teams like the Astros, Rangers, or Mariners. The bullpen is even worse, as they actually lost a decent portion of their veteran performers to either trade or free agency at the end of last season, with the only major pieces left being Joyce, Hans Kraus, Robert Stevenson, and Sam Bachman, with those final two coming off of major injuries. Their lineup looks better than it did last year as of now, but still, of the players currently slated to start for the Halos, only one is coming off a season with an over 800 OPS, and that's Mike Trout, who played exactly 29 games. Furthermore, only one starter had an over 3.0 WAR, being Zach Neto. Will this somewhat better, yet still fairly overall underwhelming squad of hitters be able to produce enough to offset the team's uncertainty in the starting rotation and bullpen? I wouldn't count on it, especially with the major injury concerns to many in said lineup. So, just what the hell are the Angels thinking? Why are they moving like this as of now? Are they just straight delusional about what this team could accomplish in 2025? These are the questions I'm left with at the end of all of this. Will they be better than they were in 2024 as a result of these moves? Almost certainly. Will they be worse 5 years from now as a result of putting off the rebuild yet another season? Probably. Will it be enough to actually get them into postseason contention? In all likelihood, no. If I had to make a prediction, they're probably looking at another 70 to 75 wins and a few brief moments during the season of relevance, before fading into the background in the later months, with the future about as bleak as the year before.